Hello, everybody. This is Renee Varnador, and I'm here with my friend Misha, who just published a book, and I am so excited to tell you about this. So yeah, I have really cool friends that are authors. So Misha's also an amazing coach. She's been a teacher. She's a speaker. She's a leadership development person. She's got all kinds of letters after her name. See that? But no, her life experience is in this book, and it's really difficult to be a teacher in a classroom these days, and it's gotten even worse since when I was a teacher. And then when I read pieces of her book, I read like the beginning and the end and the forwards and little skipped around in the middle, and it was just so healing to realize that her short anecdotes about teaching, she dares not to be perfect. And I'm like, oh my gosh, but Misha is like Misha. She always comes in with creativity and love and whatever and I'm like, okay, well, if Misha can make a mistake in the classroom, then I guess I can forgive myself for the 13 years I was teaching and making mistakes in this. It felt like a crucible to me every morning. And some of the things you're suggesting people do is to reflect. You were just telling me you just take 5 minutes to slow down in the morning and reflect on the intention you want to set. And then 5 minutes in the evening, instead of like beating myself up with a stick on the way home, just go, okay, but what was positive about that day? And beginning teachers do not have time to read whole books, and Misha knows that. So she's got these like little, she's got these small anecdotes that you can read in 5 minutes, and some reflection that you can be doing during the week just to slow yourself down and center, because otherwise you spin. So Misha, what made you write this? Well, what was your intention in writing this amazing book?
Well, first of all, thank you for the lovely introduction. I had to pull out a Kleenex because you got me teary. So this is the irony. I started writing excerpts for this book back in 2008.
Wow.
When I was going through a rough time. I had just gone through a separation. I noticed my teaching was faltering. I wasn't taking great care of myself. It was definitely impacting my students. It was impacting my own children. Mm-hmm. And then I set it down because then I had a car accident. My family went through a nightmare of all three parents getting cancer. My mom passed away. I had to stop teaching. My doctor took me out of the classroom. So a lot happened since 2008, right? Yeah. And the pandemic actually allowed me to come back into myself. I ended up leaving my school district because I was teaching one-on-one. I can't raise my arm so much. I've got a splint on, but I was teaching one-on-ones. And I was enjoying it, but I was having challenges because of my disability, and they ended up discriminating against me. So I really started reeling and spinning around why are teachers treated the way they are treated? And a lot of that was I wasn't treating myself very well. My self-care is super important in order for me to show up for my students. So as I had to leave teaching permanently, because I decided not to pursue the legal battle with my school district, my world opened up to being more creative. And I was like, I started writing a book. I think I need to get back to that book, especially seeing the huge transition that teachers had to make to going from in-person to virtual and the impact that had on their kids, right? And I'm not saying, please don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that we as teachers are the end all for our kids. They have a lot of different things happening in their lives. We're not the only person that impacts them positively or negatively. But yeah, the inspiration to write this book or to finish writing this book was really to give teachers a tangible, bite-sized, doable reflection that can impact the way they show up for themselves, which then, of course, impacts the way they show up for their students.
Right. Beautiful. Thank you. And there's actually on the back of this, there is one of your students talking about how you created this amazing, engaging classroom, and she absolutely loved your teaching. So this is written from somebody that really was good at engaging the kids and you know, caring about their learning and really, really, really doing the deal. And so I'm thinking that, you know, not everybody that's watching this right now in this, in, you know, in this Facebook group, not all my friends are teachers, like, okay, but you probably know teachers, and I know a couple of people that are involved in school districts. So if you could take a look at this, I'm going to put um, the name of it in the right below this, and we're also going to put a link to Misha's book launch, which is coming up on Sunday. Misha, you want to tell the people more about that?
Yes, absolutely. I'm very excited to be hosting my book launch. And, you know, part of it feels really awkward and uncomfortable because the way society is, the way commerce is, in order to get to a bestsellers list, you have to have everybody buy the book on the same day. So my hope is that if you come to my launch party on Sunday, you'll buy the book for yourself and for others, or for others, or everyone, whatever you want to do, but that you'll buy it on Sunday. And if you can't come to the launch party, that you'll buy it on Sunday. I mean, I don't necessarily need it to be on a bestsellers list, but I want more teachers to have it. And if it's on a bestsellers list, it may be higher, more highly recognized so that people will see it. Just a reminder too, that Teacher Appreciation Week is May 8th, 5th through 9th. And I would love for people to buy it as a gift for their teachers. So if you feel like you just got to buy it today, feel free. But at the book launch party and reading, I am wanting to offer, we're going to start with just a playful icebreaker, low stress. We're going to enjoy some silence together and acknowledge people all around the world. We're going to do a land acknowledgement and a Black Lives Matter acknowledgement. We're also going to do an acknowledgement for teachers and for students. We're going to have an activity which is about intention setting. And then I will read from my book several entries. And then I'm going to offer some reflection time. Now, here's the thing I want, and then of course, you know, this is the hard ask. I'm going to ask people to pledge to support my book by either purchasing it or sharing it, or, but here's the thing, this book may be specific for teachers, but it really can be for anybody. The stories, the questions that come at the end of each story, because as Renee mentioned, at the end, I can only raise with one hand because my other shoulder, I just had shoulder surgery, but there's journaling space in the book. And so you can change the way you hear the question. So you read it as, would you be willing to take the time to notice the beauty of and to call the home of those students? But right there, you can stop. Whatever career you're in, wherever you are in your life, would you be willing to take the time to notice the beauty of, right? Of your boss, of your coworkers, of your neighbors. So just a little spoiler alert, I am already writing a second book. And so this one's called A Teacher's Companion, How to Center Empathy and Emotional Well-Being for Yourself and Your Students. But the next book I'm writing actually aligns very closely with what I do in work now, which is A Leader's Companion. That is how to center empathy and emotional well-being for yourself and your staff, or for your organization. Still working on the title there. But I really want to emphasize, for me, there have been times where as a teacher, I wasn't very empathetic. And I say that in my dedication and acknowledgement to the students. I wasn't perfect. I had my own life challenges, and I made mistakes. And I still make mistakes. I'm not going to go on a pedestal. I'm not going to, you know, be on a soapbox. I'm an imperfect human being. But what I've had to come to accept is that the more we give empathy to ourselves, the more we can show empathy to others. And it's been a very emotional journey. I know that I'm still going to make mistakes. We don't graduate from this life in that way. So I just encourage everyone to, if anything, right now, even just take a moment and embrace the fact that you are okay, just who you are, just the way you are. And it's okay to strive to be a better version of yourself every day. And so this is why, really, for my teacher friends in the world, I really want you to know you're okay. And I'm just here to give you a little weekly vision, a little weekly centering. And then anybody who buys the book, you can register the book on my website after you purchased it, and you'll be able to download some meditations for the year from me. So
that's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Misha. Yeah, Misha's meditations are really good. So even if you're not a teacher, this is really good. I'm going to pass this on to my nephew who just started teaching last year, and I want to support him. So I'm like, what's my excuse? I have nieces and nephews. What's my excuse for giving? Misha just said it's Teacher Appreciation Week. So here we go. Okay, Steve, here's your Teacher Appreciation.
Yeah, thank you.
The fact that Misha is sitting there apologizing, saying that she wasn't perfect to her for her students every minute, it's just like that helped me give compassion. That one statement helped me give compassion to my former self that was a teacher, that was going through a marriage that was ending, and all kinds of, crazy things that were happening in my life at that time. And just to be able to go, this is really hard. And even the people that you admire, like I admire Misha, don't do it perfect every time. And when you realize that and when you take everybody off the pedestal and you say, you know what, we're just all here and we're all doing the best we can, then that's so important. So really, Misha, I totally value you and your willingness to be vulnerable. And there's a lot of wisdom already. I only read 4 things in there, but besides the intro and the conclusion, and it's just already really, really good. So yeah, and it's helping me because guess what? Even though I'm not in a school district anymore, which is more the target, I teach. I mean, I have classes, like I'm a coach and I do individual sessions and I do astrology readings and I go deep dive into, helping us move through our fears. And one of the fears that I feel is like, oh gosh, people are going to know I'm not perfect. Well, yeah, they already know that. So stop letting go of that. So I'm hoping everybody's going to, click the link to sign up to go to the book launch, even though you might not actually be there, and then buy the book and then get the meditations, right?
Yeah, and as soon as you sign up for the book launch party, I'll send you a calendar invite with the Zoom link. But then I will also send out an email Friday or Saturday with some more details. But you can go to my website. That'll show all the details, and Renee is going to give you the link. And I would love to have 100 people there. Right now I have 31 people already signed up. So, all right, 69 more to go. That's a fun number. So,
Okay.
and I do want to say though, if you buy my book, please don't rush through it. The idea, oh, I got emotional. The idea really is to slow down. Our kids need us to slow down. So, the whole idea, and I'll share more of this at the book launch party, but you read one entry, you read the question, you journal on that question, you experience that during the week of your teaching, you journal some more. And every single day, there's a positivity chart in there. Every single week, at the end of 1 week, there's a positivity chart. And there's something you can do in the morning and the night, 2 minutes max, maybe 1. And then at the end of the week, you can set an intention for the next week. So please don't rush through the book. Please, this is a real challenge, especially if you're type A or you have any sense of I've got to do it right and I got to do it perfectly. What I'm telling you to do it perfectly is only read 1 week. don't the book and don't book in a weekend. And I know that it can feel really fun and good to read more stories, but I would really encourage you just to do 1 per week and tell yourself that's enough. You don't have to do more. The classroom's still there. The students are still there. You're still there.
Beautiful.
Pace yourself.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, I can use that right now. It's just like,
right?
well, slow down and say no, because I have lists of things, and it's just if I try to do the list, it all spins like this. And if I calm down and just focus on one thing at a time, then it's one little bit. But doing one little bit for an entire year is going to change profoundly, whereas consuming another book is not going to have the same profound effect.
Yeah.
So doing a little bit every day is just going to be just going in and setting an intention every day and thinking about what's positive every day is just going to be so helpful.
Yeah, it's easy to read a book, but
Yeah,
it's not easy to internalize it and practice what you've read. Right. And so that's why I've intentionally asked people just to read 1 week at a time.
beautiful. Yeah. So thank you for creating
Thank
this
you,
amazing
Renee.
book, Misha. It's been great talking to you, and look for the links to her book lunch.
Yes.
Oh, this. Okay.
Yes. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Renee, so much. Mwah.